All right, Bat fans, here we are. I've done my uh, Batman comic haul video, I think, last weekend. I was going to wait till everything came in, but I still have 2 or 3 things coming in. I can just plug those in once I get to them. But now it's time to go over my entire Batman comic collection, or an overall collection update. I have significantly way more books than I did in my last one, which I don't even remember when that took place. I do just want to say this is not a reading order video, unless you're looking at the post-crisis books. New 52 and DCU and Rebirth and DC Universe. This is not a reading order video. I definitely have some modifications to do to that because I got a lot of new books here, so when I was shuffling them, it all became a mess. I had them in the proper reading order, like all the volume 1s, volume 2s, volume 3s, all in the proper order to read all titles together. But then that all just became a mess, so I just have all titles, alike titles, put together. At some point, I will put together a proper, concise reading order and do another video. So, once again, do not think of this as like a reading order for New 52 to current. But I am very happy with my post-crisis. Everything between Year 1 and Flashpoint, I'm pretty happy with. So, let's get down to it. Starting way back here, we have Frank Miller's Year 1. Great story, one of my all-time favorites. Batman and the Mad Monk, which I've heard from a lot of people. I guess this is pretty pricey and hard to find. I found it for like $6 at a comic store I go to. But if you are having a hard time finding Mad Monk and Night of the Monster Men, or not Night of the Monster Men and the Monster Men, this Legends of the Dark Knight Matt Wagner new collection is a great alternative. You also get other like Legends of the Dark Knight stories. So if you can't find this and part 1, definitely get this collection. Very worth it. Man Who Laughs, Long Halloween, my absolute favorite Batman story. Dark Victory, Robin Year 1. I have started getting more Robin books. Robin Year 1. Haunted Night. I know it's kind of finicky with the continuity of this one, but I just put it there. Killing Joke. Second Chances is another one that I guess is super hard to find and very pricey. But that's the Jason Todd post-crisis origin. Batman the Cult. A Death in the Family. And yes, this comes with A Lonely Place of Dying, the sequel. Dark Knight, Dark City, which I'll actually get to once I get up to here. Oh, and I meant to say ahead of time, yes, I know my shelves are bowing, bending, sagging, drooping. I get it. I know it. It's scary. It's silly looking. I'm bringing it up now, so hopefully it doesn't have to be brought up again in the comments, which probably means it will be brought up twice as much, but whatever. So Dark Knight, Dark City, actually, you can get this trade, but if you're also collecting these Batman, Caped Crusader, and Dark Knight Detective books, these also collect that. There's one of these has Dark Knight, Dark City as well, which I think many of these Tales of the Batman and Legends of the Dark Knight specific artists books are all collected in these as well. Like I know both volumes of Norm Breyfogle are in these, but I didn't know that till I'd already bought this. But yeah, and these are actually really hard to find as well, and I don't know why. Very expensive. I am waiting on Cape Crusader 2 to come in. 4 I was unable to get, but I have 5. I have Dark Knight Detective 4. I have pre-ordered 5, so I'll get that when that comes out. Shadow of the Bat 1 through 3. 4 is on its way. Azrael Fallen Angel. I only got because I had never seen it in a store before, so I figured why not get it. This might be the first time I'm ever actually showing this Batman Venom. This is the one that I've wanted for a long time, but it was super expensive online for whatever reason. So I had actually bought this one years ago for $3 on eBay. I only keep this because it has a foreword by Denny O'Neil. Gothic is up there because I have the one with the good cover down below. I've always hated that cover. That's the edition I actually read Gothic on, but Batman Venom. And then I have this new, excuse me, newer 9-volume Nightfall set. If you have the thick, like, black spine phone book size ones, you can just get Prelude, The Search, and Troika, and put those with the 3 other volumes, and it will equal all this. If you already have the omnibus books, you don't have to worry about anything because this is the equivalent of the omnibus. But, so that's my 9-volume Nightfall. Contagion, Legacy, Cataclysm, Road to No Man's Land, and No Man's Land. Someday I will get the Cataclysm that matches these. I just found that for very cheap. Frank Miller. And then these are some newer books I got. Not Officer Down, but New Gotham. 1 and 2. Officer Down goes in between. Gotham Knights. These had just come out. This is sort of the successor to Shadow of the Bat. I think it's just these 2 volumes because I think volume 3 is Return of Hush, but I could be wrong about that. Then we have Gordon of Gotham. I'm pretty sure that's where it goes in continuity. Batman by Ed Brubacher, volume 1. And we'll come down here. Which, the reason why I only have volume 1 is because volume 2 is contained in Bruce Wayne, Murderer, and Fugitive. If you have to have every issue, you can get volume 2. There's only 1 issue that's not collected. I would like to get the newer trades, but I have these for now. Earth 1 Batman. One of my favorite stories. Gotham Central. I'm pretty sure that's where this story arc goes. I found all these for like $5 each, so I got those. Blink. That's another Legends of the Dark Knight story. Hush. Broken City. Death and the Maidens. War Games. 1 and 2. Under the Red Hood. I do not have Lost Days. I've been meaning to get it. I've had several people ask me, shouldn't Lost Days go before Under the Red Hood since it shows how he was resurrected and whatnot? No. Just because it appears chronologically, don't read it that way because there is some stuff in that you have to know beforehand in this story before you go to that. That was a long conversation I had with someone that was asking me, just, if you do get Lost Days, just read that first, like a normal person. That was probably not right to say, but anyway. Identity Crisis, I know there's a great looking, a deluxe edition that just came out. OMAC Project, which is one of the Countdown to Infinite Crisis books. It's the one where Batman makes Brother Eye. There's another Countdown that I don't have, but Infinite Crisis itself. Batman Two-Face, Face to Face. Batman Birth of the Demon. This is the Ra's al Ghul trilogy. I know there's another whole trilogy that just came out. And this can either go at the beginning of your collection or here. I actually have it here because it does work like a good precursor to the Grant Morrison run. Because this is where Damian actually comes in. So now starting with Grant Morrison, and no, I do not have the Black Casebook or Resurrection of Ra's al Ghul. I also don't have some of the Paul Dini books that go in here as well. The Morrison run can be very confusing, so I do have a whole video about that, because when you get around here, there's a lot of flip-flop back and forth between books. So, to the best of my knowledge, this is just how I have Morrison set up. Batman and Son, which I did not know at the time that this edition has Batman and Son and the Black Glove. So I still have both. This is Streets of Gotham Volume 2, I believe. It's the only one I have. And then, of course, Heart of Hush, Batman R.I.P., Final Crisis, Long Shadows. I think this is the first book in which Dick Grayson becomes Batman, at least in this storyline. Of course, there's a Prodigal as well, which actually I know that doesn't really make sense because he has to win the mantle in Battle for the Cowl. But Long Shadows, Time in the Batman, then the Tony S. Daniel Bridge series, Battle for the Cowl, Life After Death, Eye of the Beholder, and then Morrison's Batman and Robin series, Batman Reborn versus Robin, and The Return of Bruce Wayne, which actually goes in between volumes 2 and 3. Batman and Robin Must Die. I do not have volume 4. Bruce Wayne, The Road Home, when he finally gets back to present day. Batman Incorporated. Batman Dark Knight, Golden Dawn. Black Mirror, excellent book. Gates of Gotham. And then the actual event of Flashpoint. For the longest time, I only had this tie-in, World of Flashpoint featuring Batman. And then we get to New 52, which these appear, Night of the Owls and Joker Death of the Family. These are just tie-ins. I have them because I bought them early on. They're not super essential. I don't necessarily read tie-ins. You don't have to. But, so, yeah, like I said, I had this in straight through order with all titles put in the right place. But then it just became a hellacious mess because I had just bought all of these Justice League books, New 52 and Rebirth, for very cheap. And so I just kind of screwed myself and it was a big mess. But I have Justice League Volume 1 first. And then, of course, I have Batman Volumes 1 through 6, Court of Owls, City of Owls, Death of the Family, both parts of 0 Year, which are actually backwards. I have 5 and 4 backwards for some reason. Volume 6, Graveyard Shift, and then I have Batman Eternal. I would highly recommend getting Batman Eternal as part of your Scott Snyder run. And Graveyard Shift will tell you when to go to Eternal, when to go to a different title. It's meant to be read around certain books. And Arkham Manor goes in between Eternal 2 and 3. And again, sometime in the future, I'll do another video where these are all in the right order. You can read these straight through, title by title. That's how I read them initially. But there's a lot of things that don't really make sense if you do it that way. So I will do another video where it's all the volume 1s, all the volume 2s, all the volume 3s in the right order. But then we have Batman Detective Comics, Faces of Death. Like, this actually goes before Death of the Family.
Faces of Death, rather. Faces of Death goes before Death of the Family. Scare Tactics, Emperor Penguin, Wrath, Gothtopia. Then we got Batman and Robin, Born to Kill, Pearl, and Death of the Family. And Batman Incorporated, I have splitting it up because of the events in Gotham's Most Wanted, leads into Requiem for Damian, then The Big Burn. Then we have Batman The Dark Knight, which are really just standalone stories about Batman and New 52. I just always keep them at the end. This is the only Batman Superman I have of New 52. Oh, so now we come down here, and these are all new to me. These Justice League books. Volume 2, The Villain's Journey, Throne of Atlantis, The Grid, Trinity War, Forever Heroes, then Forever Evil, Injustice League, and then Justice League of America, Survivors of Evil. And then this is the only Convergence book I have, which Convergence is, well, actually, there's another one called Future's End that leads into Convergence, which is the end of New 52 and goes into the DCU books. I don't have the main Convergence title. I just have this tie-in called Crisis. I have Justice League Darkseid War. We have Batman and Robin 6 and 7. Hunt for Robin and Robin Rises. And then Batman and Robin Eternal 1 and 2, which I had those backwards too. Like I said, this whole thing is a mess. These actually go after Batman Endgame. So then I have the rest of Batman, Endgame, Super Heavy, Bloom, and Epilogue. I have the rest of Detective Comics, Icarus, Anarchy, Blood of Heroes, and Gordon at War. And just like I know these go with the end of the Batman run, the Bloom and Super Heavy arc. And so then we have Rebirth, which is probably my least favorite run or banner of Batman. But we have I Am Gotham, I Am Suicide, I Am Bane. And then Batman Flash the Button, that's just where it goes. War of Jokes and Riddles, Rules of Engagement, Bride or Burglar, Preludes to the Wedding, Cold Days, Tyrant Wing, and then I don't remember exactly what it is that separates all of these. This is all a huge mess too. I'll have to fix these as well. But then I have it going into Detective Comics with The Rise of the Batman, The Victim Syndicate, League of Shadows, Duze Machina, A Lonely Place of Living, Fall of the Batman, Batman Eternal, On the Edge, Deface the Face. And then I have 3 and 4 of Trinity. Again, those are backwards. Trinity, Justice League, and Justice League I found for like between $3 and $7 a piece. That's why I just got all of them. Even these hardcovers for like $5. So I have the Justice League Rebirth Deluxe Editions, numbers 1 and 3. I know obviously there's volume 2. I don't know if there's a 4, but then there's another one by Christopher, can't think of his name, but that comes in between Rebirth and Scott Snyder. And then All-Star Batman, Scott Snyder, My Own Worst Enemy, Ends of the Earth, First Ally, then Batman The Signal. But the I think it's called The Cursed Wheel is broken up between these 3 books. That's another part of Batman and The Signal. So if you have these 3, you have half of this book. And then Dark Knight's Metal with Road to Metal, Dark Knight's Rising, main event, tie-ins. I am missing one book, and that is The Resistance, Batman Who Laughs. And then we have Scott Snyder's post-Rebirth Justice League run. I am missing the book No Justice, which I think was his first one. But we have the Totality, and then we said To Hell with Numbers for whatever reason. Graveyard of Gods, Hawkworld, Sixth Dimension, Justice Doomore, Vengeance is Thine. Then Heroes in Crisis, Tom King. And then we have, finishing off Tom King's run, Nightmares, Fallen the Fallen, City of Bane, Parts 2 and 1. Why do I have so many of these books backwards? I have no idea. But you can also get this in one trade paperback now. Detective Comics 1000. I know there's a 1027, which I will get. And then the new run of Batman Detective Comics with Mythology, Arkham Knight, Greetings from Gotham, Cold Vengeance, and then the new run of Batman by James Tynion with their Dark Designs, Joker War, and then I just put this here because I wasn't quite sure where it went, but Event Leviathan. And this right here is something my brother got me for Christmas. It is a graded 8.0 issue of Joker's first solo title issue from, I think it's May of 75, 74, 75. But this was the first time Joker got his own solo title. So that's pretty cool. I do want to hang that or something. So now we back up and we have my sort of out of continuity, Elseworlds, alternate Earth stories. Up here, of course, we have the Gospel itself, Frank Miller's Dark Knight Returns. And then, as bad as they are, I just have these here just because it's still Frank Miller. Frank Miller, Dark Knight Strikes Again, All-Star Batman and Robin, Boy Wonder, Dark Knight 3, Master Race, Dark Knight Returns, Last Crusade, and Golden Child. Whatever happened to the Caped Crusader, it's kind of up in the air if that's in continuity or not. If you do have it in continuity, it goes shortly after Final Crisis. So then we have Gotham by... Then these are some Elseworlds books that I have. Gotham by Gaslight, Doom That Came to Gotham, Batman Year 100, Batman Dracula Red Rain is the first and only of the 3 books of that trilogy that I have. Then we have Batman Haunted Gotham. This is the only 4-part prestige format story that I have. Batman Dark Allegiance, Deluxe Edition of Kingdom Come, and of course Crisis on Infinite Earths. That's not Elseworlds, but I was debating on putting that up by year 1. I just never did. Then Batman Europa, Batman Universe, Creature of the Night, Batman White Knight, one of my all-time favorite books. I have Batman Ego here because that will be my next comic review. I have Curse of the White Knight here because that's the one I'm reading currently. I started it back when it first came out, and then just other things came out that I was reading. Deceased, I do not have the tie-in. 3 Jokers, this is canon and in continuity. I just have it here with the rest of the Black Label because I don't know whether to put it in more current books or right after Killing Joke. Don't know. And then we had Brian Azzarello's Joker, Snyder's Batman Last Night on Earth, the only Vertigo released Batman book, Dark Knight, A True Story by Paul Dini, Batman Year 2. Yes, this has been retconned out of continuity now for good reason. Batman Death by Design, Batman Noel, Damned, which I really enjoyed, Harleen. This is not an origin story, or at least not a canon origin story. I've had some people ask me or tell me that it is. Joker Killer Smile, Batman 3D, Comic Pop did a back issues on this. I found this at a flea market. Really weird story. And then Batman Dark Prince Charming. I actually been meaning to do a review of this for a very long time. I really, really enjoyed that. For anyone that says Joaquin Phoenix is not anything like in the comics, this one came out around the same time that movie was just going into production. Nothing like the character, but look-wise, very similar. And now we'll get into the final stack, which is right here. Actually running low on battery, so I'll have to go through this fast. That's just a little Jim Lee plush. There's a lot of Jim Lee stuff that's been coming out recently. My girlfriend bought me this, The Man Who Watched Batman, Volume 1. Just it's more of a novel or a prose book, I guess, but of a review of each and every episode. I think at least of the first season of the animated series. I think there's 4 volumes. Very interesting read. Batman Earth 1, another one of my all-time favorite Batman stories. I love it to death. Very excited for Volume 3 to come out this summer. Two-Face and Scarecrow Year 1. I'm pretty sure this is in continuity. There's just so many contradictions with that and what's already going on in Year 1 and 2 that I just have it down here. Grant Morrison's Arkham Asylum, Serious House on Serious Earth. Yes, this is actually out of continuity. One of the very few pre-crisis stories I have, Strange Apparitions, that's from the 70s. Actual Gothic with the original cover. And that's actually part of Legends of the Dark Knight, as is Batman Going Sane. I just have to say that's about Joker thinking he killed Batman and goes sane, lives a normal life till he finds out that's not true. I'm sure I'll have people blowing me up about where to get that just because it's a Joker story. Legends of the Dark Knight 1 through 5. This is not the original 90s series. This is the 2012 web series that they did. And Trinity, I actually do think that's in continuity as well. That's also Matt Wagner. I just haven't found where. Sins of the Father, that actually continues the Telltale game series. Bane Conquest. Bane is actually one of my favorite villains. He's my 3rd favorite villain. So I have that. Batman Collected Adventures Volume 1. That's based on the animated series or spin-off of animated series. I know there's a new collection coming out, I think, of new stories. Then we have the 2 Batman Confidential stories I have, Dead to Rights and Rules of Engagement. I think there's 8 more Batman Confidential books to get. The only 2 Injustice books I have, Volumes 1 and 2, because I found them for like $5 each. And Batman the Chalice. 80 Years of the Joker. I do want to get 80 Years of Batman and 80 Years of the Bat Family. Just a collection of some of his best stories. This is the Bible itself right here. Very thick book of literally everything Batman. Everything from the very, very, very first comics to the 40s theater serials, every TV show, every movie, game, every advancement and change in the comics. It's all in here. I mean, yet forward by Michael Keaton, preface by Denny O'Neil, one other thing by Kevin Conroy. I mean, it's all, this here is literally the definitive history. It doesn't get better than this one. This isn't the same as the book called Batman Animated. It's more so just the art of the animated series, like the title cards and whatnot, which is one of my favorite aspects of the show, the title cards. So I really like this. And then the last thing I'll show is the Batman files, just sort of files on different characters, both allies and villains, written in such a way that it looks like something Bruce Wayne would have in the Batcave. Kind of like Rorschach's journal, I guess, for Watchmen. Which I do have Doomsday Clock over there with my
more so random comics. So there. So again, this is not a reading order for New 52 to present, but for post-crisis, you can pretty much use this as a reading order. Also to know what's not continuity or canon. And at some point, I will try to get a video with all of these in the proper order they're supposed to be in. Right now, they're just in order by title, not necessarily by volume. And that is my Batman comic collection. All right, everyone. Thank you for watching.